Driving through Samaria. That's the subject of this extraordinary encounter. After I began to be a part of the Wednesday evening service there at the church in Ramallah, I met a brother who had led 4 or 5 Arab young men to faith in Christ, and they lived inside the West Bank. And so I began to, he had just a small truck, and I had this minivan. So I began to meet with him at an undisclosed location. It's a gas station in the city where nearby where they lived, pretty much. And I would drive down then through Samaria down to the church in Ramallah, and then take them home on my way back to where I lived, across the line in Herzliya Pitua. So one evening we were after the service, we were leaving. There were, I think, 4 of them plus this evangelist brother. And so the 6 of us were driving back after the service, and they all said, "Hey, we're hungry. We're really hungry." Okay. So we stopped at this little store, and the way they're set up, you can stop there, you can get your bread and get some lunch meat and cheese or whatever. And they have a place where you can prepare your own sandwich. So we all prepared sandwiches and got some other stuff and something to drink, and piled back into the minivan to drive through these winding hills that go up from Judea into Samaria. Well, as we got to this one area, especially where there's all these kind of hairpin curves going up, down here you can look up, you can see like 3 or 4 of them winding back and forth. We were pulled over. We were stopped by a joint joint forces of the Palestinians and Israelis. And we were told that we had to wait there for a little bit. Now we looked over at these 2 or 3 cars that were parked ahead of us on the right hand side there, and that looked like, but there were some bullet holes. So we said, "Well, so that's about this." And they said, "Well, we had a sniper, and we're just needing to clear the area, and we'll let you go when we consider it safe." So we waited for a few minutes, and finally were waved by, and began to talk among ourselves that had we not stopped for the sandwiches, we would have been most likely would have been in that gunfire. So that seemed like the Lord had protected us in that. And so we wound our way up to the top, and again, there was a checkpoint up there. And the Israeli, as they always do, the guy that I was traveling with, this evangelist brother, he rolled his window down on the passenger side, and they, as they always do, they lead with their gun, right? So in comes the barrel of this machine gun, and he looks back at the back. Now this guy and I were both Americans, but in the back we had these 4, maybe 5 Arab guys, and he looked at them, and he said, "Avodim, are these your workers?" And this friend says, "No, Chaverim. No, they are our friends." And we didn't know what the response of this Israeli soldier was going to be to that, but he smiled and he said, "That's beautiful, Yofi. That's beautiful. I'm so glad. That's great. That's the way it should be." And so we drove, and we were waved on, and suddenly in the back, these guys are just going crazy. They're just saying, "You could have just said Avodim and been the safest for you, but you call us your friends." And that was really, really touching. And I got in on some of that currency because, I was a driver, and I certainly went along with this guy who had said that to them. So there we were with our Havarim, not our Avodim. And that was just one of more than one time where I had, guns pointed at me or whatever. But I do thank the Lord that He delayed us enough to where we were not in harm's way. And as it turns out, no one else was injured or killed as well. So let's hear it for Prince Abudim.